Howdy, Speed Gaming 4. It is another instance of the Final Fantasy I Randomizer Spring 2022 tournament. And we have a pause race for you tonight, with a little bit of spice to it. That's right, Pod E here. I believe it's Pod E. If it's not Pod E, well, chat can correct me later. We've got poppadux, we've got Climinteedus, and these two maniacs agreed to forced. They tried to force nuns. They didn't get any nuns. They instead got two mages, two black belts, and well, I think poppadux started to decide which of those black belts will not be fighting chaos tonight. But just for the uninitiated, my name is Woat. I will be your commentator tonight. Joining me on the mic, as you can see up there, is a fine fellow by the name of Woat. And riding the tracker tonight, I believe that we have a newcomer who is also Woat. So, all of that being said, let's go ahead and get right to talk a little bit about what we're in store for tonight. This is a Spring Tournament seed, which means that we have two loose incentive items, which are not going to be in any of the dungeons with incentive chests in them. Which, in practice, generally means we're going to be seeing loose items somewhere in Volcano or Sea Shrine. It can pop up in Matoya's Cave, we've seen that. It can pop up in the Titan's Tunnel, we've seen that. It'll pretty much pop up anywhere, except for, Earth Cave, Sky, Marsh Cave, Ice Cave. It can pop up in Waterfall. NPCs do not count for determining what is and is not an incentive dungeon. So, all that being said, let's talk a little bit about Blursings before the show gets on the road. The Black Belt got plus 20 strength, which doesn't matter. Got plus 10 agility, which might come up. And minus 10 luck, which, might matter if you're running away from things. White Mage rolled plus 15 strength, plus 20 agility, minus 15 vitality. So, kind of fragile, but hey, if you need to hit something before these black belts get going, you got a white mage that can help with that. Black Mage is going to be wielding some red mage armor. Has a little extra HP out the gate, plus 30, minus 5 luck. So, in the early game, you might have a tanky black mage if your chainmail happened to roll well and early. So, all of that being said, I believe that we are about to see these runners get going here in a minute. And by a minute, I mean like seconds or so. So, we're going to go ahead and wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, the stream delay is a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. Right then. So, how y'all doing tonight? I'd say we do have a little bit of hype in the chat, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more. This is also a Woat special, because, of course it is. So. And not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting this to have started by now. I kind of blew all my material already. Xerinus in chat is definitely hype. Got one race behind him, and one step closer to being done with the spring tournament. I'm not sure if that means that we are off! Alright! poppadux putting dead in front because the front character takes 50% of the punches, which makes it a lot easier to kill that black belt. For white magic, we are seeing heal 3 and X-Fur. Cure's also available, but I don't think we're going to be bothering with that spell. As far as black magic goes, we've got Bane and Lock. Technically Lit and Sleep too, but no one's going to use those. I believe we saw pretty much nothing of use there in the armor shop. And our key item is not in the Canaria item shop. Yeah, we're not going to be bothering with weapons with this party. Fists will be sufficient to do the job. And, Yeah. So, we are already getting poppadux up to the Temple of Fiends. Looks like we've got a nice long run to start things off. Um, and yeah, that's actually a pretty good distance. That'll get you through most of the early floors in most dungeons. With that kind of step count. Well, I guess there's a lot of free steps, but still, that's a pretty good step count. That's gonna get you. It's gonna get you a good way through this without having to save every other step. And poppadux running into a nice large pack that does him the help of killing off dead. Problem is, they might kill off someone else if he can't get away quickly enough. Climinteedus running into the same problem. Ops, just go ahead and reset out. I do not believe you saw anything in that bottom left chest that you want to save anyway. Poppadux, same thing. They both go back in. And we're going to see this top left chest soon enough. Climinteedus is going to go ahead and break out the Bane, make this a little easier fight to get through. One of the Gerwolves resists, but that's okay. Poppadux going ahead and having a little bit of experimentation with this encounter table, trying to find a good way to move forward. And we finally get these upward. Ooh! There's a rune sword +4 that nobody in this party is going to be able to use. I guarantee you this will not be the last time we see a good weapon that is utterly unusable. But that will sell well, so I'm sure that no one's going to complain. But we do finally reach Garland with Dead still alive. Okay, I spoke too soon. But, Garland resists Bane, which is impressive because Garland is kind of, there we go. Garland, not very good at resisting spells. Climinteedus is having a little less luck than poppadux, but it's fine. And we have a canal from the king, and a ruby from Princess Sarah. Where are we gonna go from here? Obviously over to Provoca, because the alternative is to go check 2 chests in the dwarves, and I don't think either runner is inclined to do that. We may see someone do a save split and go check 3 chests up in Matoya. Like I said before, those can have our 2 loose items in this scene. And if you are joining us for the first time and are wondering what on earth I'm talking about when I say lucid incentive, just as a quick explanation, we do have several locations in the vanilla game that hold important items. We have decided as a community that those will be special chests that we call incentive locations. That means that, in general, they can hold any of the key items we need to finish this seed, or any of the other items we've tagged as special, which we'll go over as we find them. But for the time being, Matoya does not have any of our special items, she just has more equipment we cannot use. But for the time being, we are going to be going to here. Here in Provoca, we have a Cure 4 and a Ruse for White Magic, and that looks like Lit 2 Zap and Ice 2 all available at Black Magic. So, that's not too bad, all things considered. Go! I think that everything should be good. Apologies, I am also running the tracker, so I'm trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly on the other side of things. But for the time being, do let me know if there are any issues. We do have an herb out of BK. So that's fine. We were going to go around the continent anyway. We have extended open progression on today, which means we can go to Elfland without either the ship or the canal. Or not the canal, the canoe. Alright, so between the ice, the zap, the bane, we've got plenty of things that kill pirates and kill them dead. So as far as where we're going from here, like I said, we kind of have no choice. We can't go any farther east around the southern continent on the world map without a canoe. So we're going to head back to the west. I believe poppadux skipped over Matoya earlier, so he'll probably take this opportunity to check it. And then from there, we'll probably see him head toward Dwarf Cave. Which he doesn't necessarily have any reason to go there. We don't have TNT, we don't have adamant, but we do have what's it called? Gumption. We have gumption. Now we have 2 loose chests in Dwarf Cave, so that's going to be where we're going to head from here, just to essentially knock those 2 loose items off of the register and then move on with our lives. But yeah, so like I said, poppadux going to go ahead, peep Matoy. I won't be surprised if he doesn't keep any of this. Really, the only thing keeping, and that's so you can sell it for money, and he's going to make a liar out of me. I don't think we've seen anything too bad so far, at least, so it's just a lot of running away from things. And yeah, I agree, that opal armor is worth walking out just to have the funds to buy spells when you get to Elfland. Assuming there's any good spells in Elfland. I know what's there, but I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. So, at the moment we're just kind of watching the runners, well, run around. So right now we have an herb and we have Marsh Cave available. I won't be surprised if either runner opts to go ahead and dip into Marsh Cave, just because it's on the way. But yeah, we see poppadux selling off all of that gear that's useless so that he can go ahead and stock up on heal pots. We're probably going to grab some houses and cabins. Classic Gamer in chat calling the level 7 temper and a level 8 fast. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so poppadux taking a little bit of time to get prepped. Climinteedus is going to kind of skimp a little bit on preparation work and is going to go ahead and start making his way over toward the Dwarf Cave. Now, obviously, the dream is that one of these 2 chests has the TNT in it, and Narek, the dwarf who takes the TNT, is going to give you the adamant to give to the smith. But alas, all we get today is money. Which is far less amusing, though I'm sure the runners appreciate finding it anyway. So, like I was saying, extended open progression. That means there is not a canoe block to the south of Dwarf Cave, you can just walk. In case anyone is watching this who isn't aware of some of the map edits we made, no, you can't normally walk from Canaria to Elfland. We changed the map because we found that it made it a lot less predictable how the early game would go. And yeah, poppadux opting to go ahead, dive into Marsh. Not hate it. He's got a few good wipe spells. He's got that Cure 4 in his pocket. He's got a Heal 3. He's got an extra 6k that he didn't have before. But, well, something's got sleep touch. Okay, it's the werewolves. So, yeah, okay. poppadux not giving up on Marsh Cave that easily, but probably going to be running away a little bit more. Gonna go ahead and still get this 6k. Obviously wanting to make sure he is well provisioned for the battle ahead. And I am not seeing where Climinteedus has been going. But something poisoned his lead black belt, but he is keeping that one up. And he is going to go ahead and go check this herb first. Let's see if he's going to be direct into Marsh Cave anyway. And he has got a canoe. So this is a conundrum now. Marsh Cave is right there, but you do have access to the Circle of Sages, which is a free key item. But, sorry, Classic Gamer. Temper was level 3 today. But hey, I mean, it was a good guess. We also do see Lit 3 in Black Magic level 3, and over on White Magic we have Exit and our first harm spell. One of our flags we have on for this tournament is that White Mages and White Wizards can hurt anything when they cast harm. Whether that is with their natural magic or with a weapon that casts harm. At level 4 magic, we see regular harm, which we're not going to pick up, life 2, which we absolutely are, and with black magic, we've got Quake and Quad X. So, first 4 levels of magic, not bad. Also, I just realized that I forgot to light up that canoe. I'm going to fix that real quick. And there's a +4 ribbon in Marsh Cave. Yeah, so, Climinteedus has pretty much finished up his shopping in Elfland just in time for us to look over to poppadux, who has 2 dead black belts and a pair of mages with a dream. And a ship. Okay, that is interesting. So, poppadux knows there is nothing else that Marsh could have that is worth the trouble. He does have a +4 ribbon. I didn't see if he strapped that to either one of these bold and brave mages, but we'll see what happens. Climinteedus, meanwhile, decides that, you know what, I'm already close to Marsh Cave, let's just go ahead and do Marsh Cave. I don't want to have to come back here if the Circle of Sages gives me the slab or something. And I definitely want to do this before the Ice Cave. Thanks to Twill in chat for helping me out and saying that poppadux probably did put the ribbon on that black mage, so we should be fine. That ribbon is plenty of is decent physical defense and a lot of magical defense. The downside is we have no offense, and poppadux can't run away from this fight. And yeah, Classic Gamer confirming that Nuke does have the ribbon on. So the good news is, it doesn't matter. Crap. So, Climinteedus, meanwhile, has a few more options. poppadux having to reset out of that because, well, I think we all know why he had to reset out of that. But Climinteedus is into this Marsh Cave. He's got some more levels than poppadux has, but more importantly, he's got a few more charges of some spells that are going to be useful. He's got that level 3 magic, so that white mage is toting around harm, which is going to be non-elemental damage. And that black mage, as we can see, able to bust out some lit 3s. So, poppadux, bold move going into Marsh Cave before going to Elfland, discovers that Marsh Cave continues to be Marsh Cave. Yeah, so he's going to probably take a opportunity to go stock up in Elfland. He's got the money, he can at least get everyone some spells. Maybe considering getting some equipment for that black mage. He knows there's a ribbon down there, but he can strap some good armor on there. Climinteedus, meanwhile, making steady progress. I don't think he's really run into any issues because he can pretty much kill everything down here. Just with the AoEs that he's got on those 2 mages. We do have some darkness going out. Unlike in our recent Double Anti-Bingo tournament, dark is not buffed in this, so that's, well, at these levels it's still a bit of an issue, but not that big of an issue. By the way, we should be seeing Climinteedus picking up his ribbon here in a minute, and then he'll be moving in to giving the giant a quick glance, and then running away to go pick up his ship. Yep, there we have it. I'll go ahead and unclick that on Papa's side, because he might be a minute. I don't know if Papa actually went and talked to the Elf Prince yet. I was kind of looking away, and I've only got one eye. Oh, Papa remembers he does have the herb, so alright, I didn't miss anything. Go me. Now, Papa, having seen what that marsh cave is like, he may opt to make the jaunt over to the Sages, because he knows there's a ship there. But Climinteedus has his boat, and he is going to go ahead and head over Melmond Way. And yeah, poppadux. Poppadux knows. Alright. I do not need that. Alright, I might not need this boat. I'm going to go see what I can see over here. And what he sees is pain. Lots of pain. It's fine. It's fine. Meanwhile, over in Melman, Climinteedus is finding that we have level 5 Fade, level 5 Wall, level 5 Harm 4, level 5 Fast, level 5 Ice 3, and poppadux skipping out on the level 6 magic shops for now. Note that he did not save on the river. He is going to be doing a save split if this is not the floater. Okay, he's holding onto the cube. He might go peep the magic shops and then reset. Okay, he might not do any of that. Okay, checking the item shop, and we do not have a vendor item. But we do have is a ruby turn-in. And let me go ahead and get that cube marked. Meanwhile, Climinteedus, going ahead, turning the ruby in, we are going to see a visit to Sarda. Poppadux heading up the river system. And, well, we're gonna have to wait for after this battle to see what kind of, whether this is a... Okay, poppadux remembering he has a dead black belt that he doesn't want dead. So we're gonna have a little bit of a delay. I cannot imagine he's going to go to Ice Cave with this party at these levels, but he might surprise me. But I suspect this is going to wind up being a volcano play. Just trying to find somewhere he can grind that black belt before going back into Marsh. Climinteedus, meanwhile, is at Sarda, and we are going to find out here in a moment what we have available here at the Lonely Sage, and it is the Chime. So our two wise old men today, blocking access to the Mirage Tower and the Floating Fortress. So, poppadux, getting the business from this river system. These hard-hitting Ochos are just not letting him keep his light warriors up. But he is continuing to make this attempt up the river. Clearly spooked by that Marsh Cave experience. And he is going to Ice Cave. And, yeah, no, he does not have warp. So this is going to be a deep dive into Ice Cave. Yeah, classic. Climinteedus hasn't been to Crescent yet, but assuming he's not going to go check the spike tiles in Earth Cave, which is an entirely valid play right now, I could see him diverting to Crescent once he gets back over to Melmond. But we're gonna see where he's gonna go here in a minute. I do not hate the Earth 1 check if you're black belt centric. There are, I believe, 4 different spike tiles on Earth 1? 3 or 4. Because there's 2 different types of spike tile in the Hall of Giants. And then there's at least 1 more for chest guarding, but I think there's 2 different encounters guarding chests on Earth 1, so... Alright, thank you, Saracen, for the clarification. It is 3 on Earth 1, but still. Ooh. Blue Dragon might be a little bit much for this group, but you might not hate it. Alright, Climinteedus, not gonna hang on too deeply to those. Not the worst grind tiles, all things considered. But, yeah, I do not blame Climinteedus for saying, you know what, none of these are really practical yet. Especially the way that Blue Dragon deleted a party member. But we are seeing the Crescent Lake check from Climinteedus. Poppadux, meanwhile, still trying to make it to Ice Cave. This is... I wonder if he just didn't pick up enough tents. And that's why he's not being able to more effectively save scum. Yeah, no, these Ochos rolled strong tonight, and poppadux doesn't have the levels. Now, he did have the option when he was in Crescent of maybe stopping and trying to find a cheap and easy fight. But Climinteedus finally giving us a look at level 6 magic. We have our Fire 3, our Brack. And yeah, that's it. I mean, there's Saber, but you only have a black mage who can cast Saber. You're not going to use Saber unless you find like a +5 Mazza to strap onto him. But Climinteedus does collect his cube. So Sky is on the table for him. He's not going to go to Sky. Ice Cave is an option. Ordeals is an option. Waterfall is an option. Those are all locations with guaranteed key items. Though, judging by the fact that poppadux is still on Ice 1, I'm guessing that Ice Cave is not somewhere one wishes to be. And yeah, Classic, I definitely agree with the sentiment of going into Ice because you don't want to go into Marsh, but to be fair, Never Marsh is a very strong contingent in this community. You know it and I know it. So, Climinteedus, in the meantime... Alright, he has killed one of his black belts off. So I think his game plan at this stage is to also run with the 3-man strats, and it was just sort of a whichever one dies first situation. And no, Warmech is not forced in these flags. The only alterations to the baseline that poppadux and Climinteedus went with was forcing all 4 party members and allowing for nuns to be possible. Yeah, Climinteedus, it looked... Wow! Everything that you could theoretically grind on is just mean tonight. Climinteedus is going to try to quad-X this troll. It has more than 300 HP, so that's a no-go. Possibly could have worked if turn order had been in his favor. He's going to try it again, land another harm 2, so that probably like 200 points of damage, and that is enough to drop the troll. And that's good to get his mages to level 10. So, I'm gonna go ahead, pick, well... Alright, he's back to it. He's going to try and drop these with some AoE attacks. I suspect that we're going to see the quad-X start coming out on the trolls. Nope, another lit 3. Gonna see if he can just HP damage these down. poppadux, meanwhile, I haven't been paying attention to what's been getting him, but I'm gonna have to assume it's probably just things hitting harder than his party can really handle. So, really, the problem he's got right now is none of these characters really can do much in terms of absorb. Like, they're going to be taking the full brunt of these attacks. And really, he hasn't got enough levels for even, like, HP to come into play. But yeah, it looks like poppadux is just grinding on wizards to try and at least get enough health on these characters to take hits with the armor he's got for them. Climinteedus, in the meantime, continuing to grind off of these trolls and bulls. I think he's probably sitting at level 11 at this point. I'm sure that someone watching the VOD right now is yelling at me for being a stupid idiot, but again, one eye. I'd like to see you do better. But hey, I called it anyway. Alright, so looks like level 12 for one of them and level 11 for the other, and the white mage is probably stuck back at level 10. So, a nice tight cluster there. So, Just trying to think what Climinteedus can do at this point. And I'm going to go ahead also and swap us over to Climinteedus' audio for a bit. Just because he is sort of in the lead, and let me know if there's any issues with the audio chat. Desert Grind. I can see him trying a Desert Grind, Saracen. I think he's more likely to key item hunt for the moment. I believe in these flags, we do have it set up so every key item boosts your XP gain a little bit. Poppadux, meanwhile, though, finally making the dive. Gonna see how far he can get into this ice cave. Gonna go ahead and skip out on the mage chest, but does find a rub gauntlet for his troubles. Climinteedus, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and dive into ordeals. So, for folks who are watching who may only know the vanilla game, one of the things we'd like to do in Final Fantasy Randomizer is randomize the pillars that get you through the ordeals maze. So, Climinteedus cannot just go down every time. He is going to have to actually navigate this maze. This might be a lucky first guess every time situation, or it may be a nightmare, and it looks like the swamps outside of ordeals are not going to be friendly tonight. Yeah, I don't know what I did to roll everything just being beefy and punching like a truck. Like, I know some of this is on the party, but I feel like the runners are running into an inordinate amount of encounters that just eat them. Alright. So, just double check and make sure that I've got everything in line. Poppadux. Checking. Ooh, that's a lot of money. And, alright, runnable gargoyles. And they don't seem to have anything rude to make running away harder. And that is a tail. Is Poppadux gonna walk it out? He is. Alright. So, tail. That's a womp womp. Like, just straight up. That is a zonk. You have a party that consists, where your primary melee is black belt. You are almost certainly not going to get those mages up to levels where they're actually going to be using those level 7 and 8 slots that class change gives them. That tail is only good for a little bit of bonus XP. But, at the same time, it is a little bit of extra XP. You still need to grind that black belt. I don't think that Poppadux is in the wrong for going ahead and walking it out, especially with that exit available. Climinteedus, meanwhile, still making his way through ordeals, taking these zomble fights. He might not be able to run away from it looking at it. A very timely cure for... Okay, no, he could run, but he wants this experience. He wants this gold. He knows that, there is a non-zero chance that he's going to have to go to Sky early. So, taking every opportunity to get a little bit more longevity on this party, especially since he still hasn't really found anywhere to grind this black belt. He's gonna actually... Okay, I like this. He knows what part of this maze is looking like. He has that exit cast still. Go ahead, get your charges back, save that experience, and get back on the search. Poppadux, meanwhile, heals up in Crescent Lake, and he is heading over to Volcano. So, like I said at the top of the show, we have two loose items. Basically, two items that are not necessarily... Well, there's one of them that is a slab in Volcano. So, Like I said, we have 2 key items that are loose, meaning they can be in any chest in any dungeon that doesn't otherwise have a key item already. So that was one of them. That is the slab, which enables us to speak to the people of Lefane. We can't actually get to the people of Lefane yet. Also, Poppadux doesn't have a boat to go to Melman to get the slab translated. So that's a bit of a problem for him, obviously. But regardless of the difficulties of actually putting that slab into practice... Oh, hey! What Poppadux is your favorite? Wizards. Yeah, he's killed enough wizards for one lifetime. So, yeah. Hairpin turn chests have been checked. He is getting held by fires, which isn't great. But Climinteedus, meanwhile, has found the top of ordeals, runs away from the solo water elemental, and is going to pop these boxes open. These won't have any key items in them, these won't have any of our incentive equipment in them, but they could have something nice. Could have a ribbon, could have a Masamune, could have a, yeah, that's about it. I guess an opal bracelet. Or he could get murdered by dragons before he actually makes it to the chests. At least he knows the way through now. So, Poppadux definitely lost some time to that repeated attempts at Marsh Cave and those repeated attempts at Ice Cave. He is getting a little bit of that back with the way Ordeals is treating Climinteedus. Because Papa will be in a better position by the time he gets there. And at least this is a nice, comfy fight to pick up a couple of extra chests here. Not that that was worth... Oh, but there is our... I think this is the second seed I have called in pods where both loose items were on this floor of Volcano. But okay! I guess that's what we're doing now. Alright. So, looking at the situation. Poppadux has 2 loose items, one of which he can cash in before setting foot in Marsh Cave, and it looks like that is what he is going to go do. Also, I'm reasonably confident that's pretty much the only thing of value he got out of that armory. Like that, and some money, and some stuff he can sell for money. But at this point, he's kinda out of options. He's going to have to go back to Marsh unless this adamant turns into a floater. This is a rare instance where I feel like a runner might actually be really, really hoping that this is a fetch quest. Because the longer he can keep chasing these key items, the less likely it is he's going to have to go back to Marsh. Although he may just be going ahead and saying, you know what? I'm probably going to have to do this anyway, let's get it over with. Meanwhile, we have a bottle out of ordeals on Climinteedus' side, and he is out of there as quickly as he can get. Now, again, the bottle we can't turn in without the floater. Because that means we need to go to Gaia. So Climinteedus at this point has 2 known key item locations. Waterfall Cave and Sky 2. Now, arguably, there are also 2 item shops he could check over by Waterfall Cave. We have not seen the vendor item yet. But we do have a T-Rex on Climinteedus' side, so this may be him following the wisdom of sky, 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 sky. You can get, if you can survive the fights here, you can get some really good XP really quickly. The keyword of the day was if. But he does manage to erase that T-Rex, and that is going to get his mages to level 16. And he does have a level 14 black belt, so he's not doing too bad there either, but obviously not ideal. And oh my, okay, that is like 2 steps off a power cycle for that T-Rex. So if I'm in Climinteedus' shoes right now, I don't blame him for doing this. Just going ahead and trying to get the levels on this black belt to be able to grind on these T-Rexes. Excuse me. Honestly, okay. If I were in his shoes, what I would do is I'd bring that dead black belt back up and put it in the front slot, let it eat that first punch from the T-Rex. You know you're going to be able to quad exit round 2. You just need your frontline black belt to survive, but T-Rex takes a swing at the white mage and misses. At least I think that was the white mage. And that's going to be good enough to get that black belt up to level 15, get those mages to 17. Yeah, this is going to be slow to get started just because that T-Rex packs such a punch. But yeah, if Climinteedus continues to get this turn order, his black belt's going to very quickly be able to make it through. Poppadux, meanwhile, finally gets that ship again. Now has exit, is able to immediately leave, and opts to do so. So he's going to go turn in this adamant, I assume. Probably going to go back and grab his boat so he can just hop into the river next to Dwarf Cave instead of walking up there and then walking back. Who has time for that? And Climinteedus, I think he's finally kind of hitting that break point where he can start surviving these encounters long enough to get his XP on this black belt. So, we'll see. This is going to take him a minute, because realistically, he's probably going to need to get to his next set of punches on the black belt to be able to start reliably taking these T-Rexes down. Alright, Poppadux, remembering he can just dock at a river rather than running around from the dwarf dock. Taking a save by his boat in case it turns out this adamant is not something he's looking for. Though I can't imagine what it would be at this point. But that is the key. He's going to hold on to that, and he's probably going to go check... Well, no, he's not. He could have gone to check the treasury, but it's fine. No one cares. And howdy from you folks over on RPG Limit Break. If I'm not crazy, y'all are coming from another Final Fantasy Randomizer race. So, hi! We're about 40 minutes into this one, and it has been, interesting. Interesting is definitely the word I would use. So, just to give a very quick recap, the runners started off picking up the canal and the ruby from the king and the princess. The pirates handed over the herb, which in turn turned into the canoe. The canoe allowed them to get over to the Circle of Sages, who handed off a cube. More importantly, though, Marsh Cave had the ship, which Climinteedus was able to claim on his first trip because he stopped off in Elfland first to go ahead and get his spells. Poppadux opted to make a dive into Marsh right away and bounced out of it, which did not work out for him, unfortunately. So he wound up going over to Ice Cave, where he recovered the tail from. Climinteedus, though, with that ship and canal in hand, proceeded to go visit Sarda with the ruby, where he picked up his chime. Poppadux did finish up in Ice Cave, got a tail, and then found both of our loose items on the first floor volcano in the form of the adamant and the slab. The adamant turned into our key, and that kind of brings us up to present. Climinteedus has found a T-Rex right off of the encounter area right by the docks in the Mirage Desert. It's just a little too sturdy for his party at the moment to, like, reliably take down without losing someone he wants to get XP on, but as we just saw, he has made a trip back to Canaria to do some shopping, and get some much-needed defenses on this group. I suspect we are about to see him make the trip back to Mirage Desert to punch more blue stakes. Poppadux, meanwhile, is just now starting to go on his adventures around the world. We do know that the bottle is in Ordeals, but we do not have any idea where the floater is yet. So Poppadux could wind up going to Waterfall and give us our first glimpse over there. And either one of these runners could at any point decide that they're just going to go sky, 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 and find out what's up on Sky 2, and I believe that brings us up to date. As far as how magic's looking, we have a bunch of elemental spells. We do have fast level 5, we have temperate level 3. We have wall and fade at level 5, we have a level 2 cure 4, and a level 4 life 2. So, all in all, not necessarily world beater magic, but it'll do the job. It'll get work done. Blursing-wise, just to kind of finish things up, the black belt had nothing of note. Bonus strength, bonus agility, malice luck. White mage had bonus strength, bonus agility, malice vitality. Black mages can wear red mage armor, started with an extra 30 hit points, and malice luck. And in case you're wondering why both runners have to take 2 black belts, it's because these maniacs did 4 forced with the nuns possible. They didn't get any of the nuns they hoped for, but you know what? What is a second black belt except a nun that requires a little bit of extra work? So, with that being said, Poppadux is in Ordeals, and with the extra levels he gained digging into Ice Cave and Volcano, he is in a much better position than Climinteedus to just go ahead and get these things cleared out. Climinteedus ran into a little bit of trouble in Ordeals, which balanced out a little bit of the trouble Poppadux has had in the rivers and the caves of the southern continent. So, Poppadux finding his way through the maze, Climinteedus continuing to beat up T-Rexes. Looks like he is up to level 21 on that black belt, level 23 on that white mage. So we are about to see that black belt's punch damage take off. Climinteedus is going to go ahead and burn some more of the... finish burning the white mage's magic before we kind of get things wrapped up on that front. But yeah, like I said, it's 2 steps off a power cycle to get these T-Rexes. It's a thing. Meanwhile, Poppadux, opting to fight these waters. Climinteedus just ran away from them, but, oh, Papa, you gotta use ice on the waters. That's what works on them. You freeze moving water. But he gets through it anyway. So, goes ahead, picks the black belt back up, runs into a bunch of sorcerers who are going to just punch him real quick. We do know there's some nasty things up here, so Poppadux not out of the water yet just because he's past the maze and the spike tile. But he also came in here on one shot, so he may have accidentally burned the encounters on this floor that gave Climinteedus trouble. Not that Climinteedus is going to be having trouble with much of anything. Well, I say that. Yeah, that T-Rex hitting a little bit hard, and that black belt not quite to the point where he can take those punches. Poppadux skipping every box in here, getting his bottle. Opting to just go ahead and take this fight. I guess looking to see if there's a good grind tile here. He does not know about the T-Rexes in the desert. Though I suspect he will check that at some point, if even just because he will save when he gets off his boat and then immediately find them. But with Poppadux out of Ordeals, let's see where he is going to go, and it looks like he's also heading for the desert. So this looks like it's about to get real interesting, because he's probably also going to find this fight, and I don't think he's in a... I don't think he's got much better levels than Climinteedus did coming into this, desert area. I have also been informed by Dark Moon in chat that my voice is apparently the voice that babies are curious about. So, I don't know what to do with this information. I'm gonna be honest. Nothing in my experience equips me for this. That being said, poppadux has now found out about the T-Rexes, has also found out that they hit like a truck, but that's okay because he can just reset out and try again to get the good turn order. Unlike Climinteedus, not going to throw that Quad X out right away. I don't even know if he picked up no, he didn't even pick up Quad X. So he's going to be relying on pure damage, but yeah, he's got some options there. And I know he's got a little extra money from that volcano play, so he probably is in a better position to take advantage of these for a while. But Climinteedus looks like he's got about 5 houses left, so that's probably the upper limit to his grind. And keeping that white mage alive, it looks like, probably because he needs the healing, to be completely honest. So, I believe traditionally when both runners are doing a grind like this, it is the obligation of commentary to provide helpful facts about what they're grinding on. So today's helpful fact. Did you know that dinosaurs never went away? They sit outside your window singing now. Watching. Remembering. Remembering a time when your pitiful ancestors were tiny little rats scurrying about the forest floor, unable to do anything other than hide. And over the aeons, the little rats have grown and grown and believe themselves masters of this world. But they remember. They remember. And someday their hour will come. And they will take back what is theirs from the little rats who think themselves kings. Also, T-Rex was a scavenger. I believe I remember reading that. I don't think paleontologists corrected that yet. So yeah, in the meantime, Climinteedus and poppadux. Oh, Climinteedus might... Okay, it looks like Climinteedus is satisfied with his levels. He is heading into Mirage, and he is ignoring every box in Mirage that is not clearly labeled Open Me. So yeah. Yeah, we have incentivized the chest that normally contains the adamant in vanilla, and that is where Climinteedus is going. I don't... He should be fine, and... Okay, he's finally using his other black belt as ablative shielding for the party members that matter. Okay, Saracen, to be fair, both the black mage and the black belt were dead. Like, he had to revive both of them. But, anyway. So, Climinteedus is going to head on up. We're going to find out what is in this incentive chest. Then he's probably going to go punch Tiamat in the face. Also, excuse me for that sneeze. There's probably another one coming here in a moment. And if that happens, I will again make sure not to sneeze directly into your ears. You are welcome, Internet. And thank you to chat for the Gazoon Heights and the Bless Yous. But we do have some metal slimes, and Climinteedus thinks about running away, and this is like, you know what? I'm gonna kill these slimes real quick. That's some good eating, and I still want some levels on this party because, oh dear God, they're squishy. Like, your black belt's HP can only do so much. But that is some good experience right there. And that is our ruse stick. So, I promised at the beginning of the stream I'd talk about this eventually. It is eventually. In addition to the key items that are necessary to progression that are marked on our lovely tracker down below, we also have a couple of pieces of equipment. We have item magic shuffle on, which basically makes it so that every item that you can use from the item menu to cast a spell casts a different spell. As you can see, they are renamed to tell you what spell they cast. However, we are forcing with these flags for 2 items to cast Saber, that being the Power Gauntlet, which does that anyway, and the other to cast Ruse, that being the Power Staff, which normally is just a very heavy stick that you could swap things with, but why would you when you can just sell it for money? So yeah, Climinteedus has found our ruse stick, which I'm sure he is not going to complain about after all of the punches to the face his black belt took on the way to this point. Meanwhile, in chat, people are discussing the non-avian dinosaurs. If you would like to talk about dinosaurs, you should join us live here on Speed Gaming and other fine places you can find Final Fantasy Randomizer here on Twitch. And if you don't know where those are, you go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, find a link to our Discord, where we announce all of the races. And you can find out where else you can see this action. Come on, do it. If you're not watching this live, I know you can pause this video and go check out the randomizer. I'll still be here. Okay, I'm gonna trust you did that. Perfect timing. You're back for us to go fight Tiamat. Now, normally we'd be thinking, hey, let's just throw Brack at Tiamat. Brack is level 6. We might be able to throw a couple of Bracks at her. Okay, we can throw 3 Bracks at her. But we're more likely than not just going to punch her in the face and do 67 damage. Okay, we've got 3 Bracks. Hopefully one of them will kill it. Because I don't believe that black belt is going to be doing much at the moment. We probably could throw a fast on there and temper him up, but, okay, 6 hits, 300, that's better. 1 more Brack, and then we are probably going to see the black belt start. Okay, Miss Menu there, that Cure 4 is not going to pick a black belt up. We do not have the revive characters in battle flag on. Which is a bit unfortunate. But Cure 4 wouldn't have revived him anyway, it's fine. Speaking of unfortunate things, though, Tiamat did not get broken. Climinteedus resists. No, Climinteedus is going to go for the Banes. I'm wondering. No! I wonder if he didn't pick up fast. But either way, that Bane does the job that Brack doesn't, and Climinteedus is the first runner in this race to light an orb at the 54-minute mark, give or take. So, Climinteedus at this point knows his progression. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't know where the loose items are, but his next obvious stop is going to be the Waterfall Cave. Because, I mean, the alternative is to go to Ice Cave and Volcano, and what lunatic does that? Yeah, there we go. No, we don't. Okay. If you are playing along at home, take a drink. We have seen the minimap pulled up. Climinteedus, losing track of his latitude, did under shoot or the on-rack docks, but he's going back for it. And if you are familiar with the vanilla game and you're sitting there going, wait, there aren't any docks at on-rack, you're right. But we fixed that because that's ridiculous. It's clearly a seaside community. There's a sunken temple next door to it. Of course they're gonna have docks. And yeah, it's the second drink. Sorry, folks. But Climinteedus is the first runner to actually go over to the on-rack area. While he's getting there, poppadux has his black belt at, looks like, level 36. I think he's taking this grind all the way to 42. Climinteedus, I think, stopped off his black belt grind around 30, 31. Two very, opposed strategies. Still no key item, so this is either on-rack or Gaia for our item shop item today, which we already know can't be equipment. So Climinteedus is going to stop off in on-rack first to find out what we have waiting there. Okay, Climinteedus, going to Waterfall first. Gonna go ahead and see what the robot has and then check the vendor item on the way back. Just like I said. Going ahead, burning his first two encounters, going to be able to make some rapid progress through this cave. Poppadux, meanwhile, has decided that his grind is going to go into the tower. Poppadux, you madman. Yeah, I hope that y'all like solo black belt strats, because apparently poppadux has decided to deliver today. So, at this point, this waterfall, like, our floater is either here, or it is, well, it either has to be at a chain that starts here or an on-rack. Because every other possible key item location at this point, well, okay, I take that back. We still have a key item available behind the rod, block, and earth cave. We have the key item here in Waterfall. And we have a vendor item that potentially could be an on-rack, but we don't know that yet. And one of those three possibilities has to lead to our floater. And I believe we are going to need the floater today. I don't think that we can weasel out of... Well... Yeah, no, I think we have to have the floater today. I don't think we have any zonks left. So... we are going to need that floater to... Well! No, I take that... No, we're good. Alright, yeah. We have to find the floater. But yeah, so poppadux is, yeah, just as Classic Gamer in chat is saying it, he plans to deliver 2 hits to each of Tiamat's 5 chins. I don't hate it. But yeah, whiz mummies have poison, and apparently there's a lot of them. You don't necessarily enjoy that. But Climinteedus does have good enough levels on this party now, especially the black belt and the white mage. He's fine. If he ever finds that tail, which is very unlikely at this point, basically he's got enough good checks to where, well, he might check Ice Cave before Volcano. So he might find that tail. Let him take a wipe while I was looking away. I didn't think he did, but... Either way? Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. That's bad. Also, that's a vanilla spike tile. Fun. But we are at Tiamat. With a grossly overpowered black belt, And we're going to play Punch-Out now. 10 hits for 700 damage. Look like 8 hits for like 340 or 440 or something. 10 hits for 830 something, and we are done. Alright. Poppadux also lit his Earth Orb. Take it in, folks. You don't normally get to see 2 runners light their Air Orb first. That's apparently the seed that we have today. Climinteedus, though, running into a problem with this spike tile. He needs it to roll low on the Whiz-Mummy count, I think, in order to have a chance of getting past it. That is not low for the Whiz-Mummies, that is for Whiz-Mummies. And refresh my memory, folks. Did Climinteedus get that ribbon out of... Okay, he does have the ribbon. That white mage is able to take these ribbon shots, so he needs turn order to be in his favor right now. And he gets the fade off, and that clears out the Whiz-Mummies. He should have no problem here. I hope y'all like seeing the exit spell cast, because there's not a chance that he is not about to cast exit to get out of here. And there is our floater from Marcy the Robot. Alright. So Poppadux, meanwhile, has made it over to the on-rack area as well. We'll see if he checks on-rack first or waterfall first. And he's going to waterfall first, so Climinteedus. You know, I don't know if Poppadux is going to actually bother reviving anyone. Well, he might change his mind after he sees this this spike tile here. But Climinteedus, checking this item shop, and there is our crown for 9.6k. So, Climinteedus is going to go turn in that floater, and then start doing a few things very quickly. Probably going to go turn in that crown. Gonna go turn in that bottle. He doesn't have the slab yet, so he can't do that. Checking his map twice, making sure he's going the right way. And yep, there is our floater. Desert, and Climinteedus is airborne. At about the hour and 3 minutes, 30-second mark. Poppadux, it looks like, is going to get through this fight by virtue of Black Belt, his Black Belt having a lot of magic defense and a lot of HP. And that is the Oxyale at Astos, who is not going to live long enough to defend it. So, Alright. So, from our omniscient perspective here on the stream, we still don't know where the loot is. We still don't know where the rod is. We have this check here in Gaia, and the check in Lefane. One of them is going to lead us on a merry chase, because we still have the crystal and the TNT to turn in. One of these is going to lead us to that rod. The other is going to give us a saber gauntlet. Both of these runners have bounced off of a lot of things so far. And I don't know which of them feels more behind. I think they both feel behind. So I think the question is, who chases the fetch quest, if either of them? But we'll see here. Climinteedus has the bottle in hand, uncorks it, and gets TNT from the ferry. That's fine, he has an airship now. And he doesn't know that that adamant is waiting in Volcano. So, I believe the way that things... Well, okay. In theory, this could be terminal, and then Lefane gives us the crystal to turn in for our other last item. Climinteedus... Okay, so Climinteedus is now going to start hunting for loose items. He knows, at this point, he needs a slab. Or, yeah, I think he... With the knowledge he has, I think he has to realize he needs the slab. The only problem is, he's got that Oxyale. He could spend a lot of time opening boxes in Sea Shrine if he's not... if he doesn't intuit what he needs to do. I do find it interesting that he is not turning in that... Did he reset out of the TNT? You know what? Whichever. It's fine. Poppadux, meanwhile, presumably picked up his crown, so I'm going to go ahead and check that off. Hasn't gone to cash that in for... Alright, yeah, so Climinteedus must have forgotten to save after collecting his TNT, but he's got it back, so it's fine. And he's probably going to go turn that in. Hopefully he goes and turns that in before he goes hunting loose items. So, Climinteedus, I think, is a little bit flustered at the moment. Like I said, we're an hour into this seed, and for the folks who haven't been keeping up with the spring tournament in general, these seeds usually wrap up about... A lot of seeds have been wrapping up about this time, maybe here in the next 10 minutes. Climinteedus knows that he had some difficulties with ordeals, and he may be thinking he's farther behind than he is. Poppadux, meanwhile, kind of in a similar boat. He knows that he had issues with Marsh, he had issues in the river, he had issues in Ice Cave. He's since recovered, but he did spend a long time grinding. He does know that his opponent has the same party, so he does at least have the expectation that Climinteedus burned a good bit of time grinding, but probably also found those T-Rexes. So, alright, there's our rod from Narek. So, we are officially in no mode, because with Narek giving us the rod, that means that Lefane has to have the crystal, and the crystal will yield up the loot from Matoya. So, we are going to require that slab as well as the adamant. The adamant is going to give us the... whatchamahay? The key. And the slab, it was going to put us on the path to the loot. The audio we currently have going is Climinteedus. Is there a problem with the audio, Dark Moon? Because I can swap it over to Papa. At least we're supposed to have their audio. There were some minor complications getting everything squared away, but regardless, Poppadux at the moment... Yeah, I think they both are a little bit out of sync. I'll swap it over to Poppadux and see if that helps. Otherwise, we can always mute both their audios and listen to something else, but... Alright, looks like things are doing better, and that's fine because poppadux with that fire orb lit is basically in the lead right now. So he's going to collect his TNT. And yeah, he should be not far from getting everything in order. I forgot to check off his chime. That's my bad. I mean, fortunately, the only person who that would have misled really is me, and I knew he had the chimes, so... Anyway. So, poppadux does have that slab. Can go to Lefane, is going to get the other fetch quest item, and will piece together the rest of the seed from here. Oh, I think this... My bad, I completely forgot about the, bottom of Earth cave. Never mind, I was just sitting here all confident, and y'all just let me sit here all confident. Alright, so the crystal was in Earth. The loot was at Lupa. And that means Matoya has the Saber Gauntlet. Yeah, no, I realize this now, Kiata. I was looking at the screen. I was just sitting here all cocky like, alright, I figured out this seed. I forgot about one of the key items, but I also forgot about one of the locations. So it all sounded real good when I said it out loud. See, that's the trick to confidence, folks. Be an idiot. Alright. Regardless, so poppadux will have no mode here in a minute. Actually, he might have go mode now. Yeah, he's in go mode once he gets this rod. Alright. So, poppadux, I believe, is in go mode now. He knows that I thought he already gotten his Oxyale. It's fine. It's fine. No one's paying attention to the tracker at this point. No one trusts the tracker. If you did trust the tracker, you obviously haven't been paying attention to the last, like, 5 minutes. But whatevs. Poppadux killed Astos. He has everything he needs for go mode. Climinteedus has killed Lich. So we are temporarily tied for orbs, but whether or not that remains the case is going to depend entirely on what Climinteedus' next move is. So, if he goes to Volcano, he'll be fine. That'll give him the key items he needs to finish things up. And everything's good. If he goes to Sea Shrine, that's bad. Because he's going to open every box in Sea Shrine, and right now he cannot afford to give poppadux that time, but he is flying in the correct direction. Alright, he's going to land at Ice Cave first. This is less than ideal, but it should be fine. He does have exit, and he is in a much stronger position than poppadux was coming down here. Question from Classic Gamer, what level is Clim's Black Belt? Clim's Black Belt should be around the mid-30s, I think. I think he stopped his grind at 30 or 31, and has kept the party alive since then, so I would assume 30 or 31. Or, not 30 or 31. 35, 36, maybe 37. And Kiata Moon with the quick eyes saying that it is that it looks like it was 34 at one point recently. So yeah, poppadux meanwhile absolutely has to be carting around a mid-40s black belt at this point. So yeah, this is an interesting situation because basically the only thing that's going to keep Climinteedus alive in this matchup right now is beelining this chest here in Ice Cave, pulling at the tail, going, oh, I need the loose items, and opting to do the volcano before C. And it's very likely that that's what he'll do. Volcano has a lot more... Volcano's chests are all roughly on the critical path, with a few very large exceptions. It's the proximity play to Ice Cave. It's not the worst plan in the world. Unfortunately, though, poppadux has downed Lich, which means he is a Sea Shrine away from Topher. Climinteedus is going to need some help from Temple of Fiends. And the only thing that can work in his favor right now is his mages are probably a little bit sturdier than poppadux's. And while the black belt is the one who is murdering everything, a solo black belt in Temple of Fiends runs into a problem of healing. Because when you have 900 HP, it's going to take a third of your healing supply to patch you back up if you take some nasty damage. But there is our Saber Gauntlet from Matoya. And that's something else that might work in Climinteedus' favor. Poppadux just doesn't bother collecting that crystal. Actually, he's not. I don't know if he actually bothered to get that chest. He might have. It was an easy find. Nope, he doesn't have it. Did someone notice if he stopped at Matoya to turn that crystal? But yeah, so... Alright, thank you, Kiata. So, yeah, so here's the tail of the tape at this point. Poppadux has the power advantage on that black belt. Climinteedus has a much sturdier white mage. And that black mage, I think, also picked up a lot more levels than poppadux's did. So, what Climinteedus needs to get back in this match, because he did the right thing, he's in Volcano, he's going to find both of his loose items here. Once he finds his adamant, he just needs to go straight to carry. Kill carry. I would almost say he needs to go ahead, do his Sea Shrine. He knows that whatever he has in hand is what will finish out the seed. He's probably going to be a good, I'm going to say 5 minutes behind poppadux going into... No, that's a dead Lich. He's going to be about 7 minutes behind poppadux. Assuming encounter luck goes Climinteedus' way. Because poppadux is going into Temple of Fiends here in a moment. So, Climinteedus basically needs poppadux's mages to wipe out, excuse me, somewhere between Carry 2 and Kraken 2. And then he needs that black belt to get bullied. Yeah, Yeah, classic gamer. That's what we're talking about here. Is he basically is going to need Poppadux to lose a deep Topher dive at this point to really be back in this. He does have both of his loose items. He backs out, he saves them, but we got Poppadux heading into Topher for his first time at 120.50. So I'm just going to jot that down. So yeah. So Climinteedus needs to get into Topher in about the next 7 minutes. He needs to be hitting Temple of Fiends about the 128 mark, and he needs Poppadux to have something terrible happen to his party. Yeah. Just to kind of go with what Classic Gamer is saying in chat, Poppadux is also going to need... It is going to have a bit of an advantage on that second dive, where Climinteedus may have to take things slower. It's a tricky dance, but right now Climinteedus is routing exactly the way he needs to maximize his chances of dealing with this. No, Papa didn't validate that. He is running the party that says, I don't need your chests. But Climinteedus on carry 1, or Kelly, as our fun names flag puts it. And that is a fire orb for Climinteedus, so he's got some errands to run. He needs to turn that key, he needs to get that slab translated, he needs to go talk to the Toga people. He apparently turned in his crystal. That's fine. That's fine. You're good. Alright, so he's gonna go turn in this adamant now, get his key. Poppadux, rolls through Lich 2 without comment. Or if something happened, I was looking at Climinteedus. But Poppadux coming to carry 2. Carry 2, the first of the real threats as far as these things go. Not today, thanks to turn order, but she can be a problem sometimes. Ah, okay. We had a first turn nuke out of Lich and I missed it. I feel bad now. Well, yeah, we'll get to see it on Climinteedus' side. But for now, he's got his slab translated, he's got a key in hand. We know that this is going to lead him to his loot. And from there, really all he can do is play his game and hopefully for his sake, Papa wipes. And for our sake too, everyone likes a little bit of a close race. But yeah, so Climinteedus is going to go get his slab turned in and then head on over to the Sea Shrine. Poppadux, feeling pretty good. Oh, but that is a dead White Mage and a dead Kraken. As Kraken 2 does Kraken 2 things. So, this is the exact scenario Climinteedus needed. White Mage takes a nap, which means that black belt no longer has a source of healing, but it doesn't matter because a fasted black belt one-shots Tia 2. This Chaos is going to need to pull something nasty out, I think. Like, you needed Tia to at least do something to this black belt for this to matter. Fast comes out. Lit 2 drops. Punch comes out. 14 hits for 1,500 damage. Black Mage is going to wait. 16 hits, 1,200 damage. Rub comes out. The 3 and 256 doesn't happen. And Chaos takes 16 hits for 1,300. And Poppadux is going to finish in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 18 seconds. go ahead and get your GGs in chat for poppadux. And we'll see if we can go ahead and get him in here. And meanwhile, Climinteedus is running up to the orb and realizing he has not lit the water crystal, and he is going to start flying over to Sea Shrine. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing is ruined. But he is going to go ahead, land here at Sea Shrine, start a Rowan, and we are going to see a save here. And poppadux is sitting down in the setup room. I'll let him know he can go ahead and jump on up. Ooh, but Climinteedus stops, and yeah, it looks like that is a forfeit on his side, unfortunately. I guess he finally looked over and saw that Papa had finished, so I'm going to go ahead and also get him an invite up there. Go ahead and get your GGs in chat for Climinteedus as well. That was a hell of a seed. There we go. poppadux, GG. Papa.
Sorry about that, I had my mic muted.
There we go.
Thank you.
Wow,
Wow, that was a rough start.
Yeah, that was. So, while we're waiting to see if Climinteedus will also come join us.
I think he plans to.
Alright. Well, while we're waiting for that, so Marsh Cave before Elfland. Why?
Because it was just the routing. If normally I can get through it without much problem. I kept running into those unrunnable mucks and running out of spell charges. That's why I left. But with no ship, you're routing it around that way. It usually makes sense to go to Marsh first.
So that leads into the second question. Were you that badly scarred by Marsh that you were just like, I'd rather go to Ice Cave? Or was it a matter of, well, I know the is there, but let's see if floaters in ice?
That was exactly what it was. It was a gamble, hoping that, there was at least 2 key items, potentially 4. It turned out to be 4 items in the Crescent area, and I was just hoping that the floater was going to be over there.
Tidus, GG.
Yeah, good game, everyone.
Yeah, no, you handled the adversity of that seed about as well as anyone could. So I saw y'all talking a little bit about it in the race time room after everything wrapped up. But just to kind of step back a little bit, now y'all have had a chance to breathe, cool down, take a break, get something to drink. If you haven't hydrated, make sure you're hydrating. So, I have to assume there were points when both of you felt behind. So, do you want me to guess where those were, or would you just like to volunteer them?
Oh, by all means, go ahead.
Alright, so Papa, I'm guessing that, sometime around the point where you were grinding on that wizard encounter at the entrance of Ice Cave, you were starting to feel a little bit behind.
I knew I had to be losing time at that point. In hindsight, I should have stayed right around Crescent and grinded there on the whatever was around, bulls or giants.
So, Clem, I'm going to guess you felt that around the time you were being bullied by ordeals.
Yeah.
But more importantly, would you like to tell Papa what grinding near Crescent felt like?
No, I don't want to talk about that.
You wouldn't have enjoyed Crescent much more than you enjoyed the river, Papa. I'm gonna be
No.
honest.
Those Ochos were nasty. They were hitting like trucks.
Yeah. So y'all diverged right after you crossed over the canal. Because Papa, when you went into Marsh Cave, Clem went over to Elfland. And got the spells that made it easy to clear out Marsh Cave. So Clem, you jumped out to a very early exploration lead. Because you had your ship and you were on your way, whereas Papa kind of bounced out of Marsh Cave, got the canoe, and went on a wonderful adventure into the river system where his level 7 party got bullied by basically everything.
Oh, tough times.
Yeah. So, but the trade-off is, Papa, you very early on knew you had both of your loose items.
Yes. As soon as I found that second loose, I decided I was just getting out of Volcano. I knew the floater was going to be most likely necessary because I had the slab and the bottle at that point. I'd come back when I got the floater and knock it out.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So, both of you, though, after diverging early, you reconverged in the Mirage Desert. You both went to ordeals. You both had fun in ordeals. Clem more so than Papa, and I'm using fun in the Dwarf Fortress sense here.
Yeah.
But you both opted to make the Mirage play over the on-rack play. I mean, obviously, part of that is because you didn't have Oxyale, but was there any inclination to, say, go over to the waterfall area, see if you can find your vendor item, see if you can find some kind of fights to pick up a couple extra levels before dealing with Sky and Mirage, or were both you just kind of Sky?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
when I saw that hard reset grind, like I thought that would just like be the best option, and then like when my black mage fell, like I had no problem just like gaining a few levels with my black belt and white mage before taking on Tiamat. So I thought like I wasted a lot of time doing that, but I was kind of hoping like I was honestly hoping that Papado hadn't found a grind tile at that point. So I was just trying to play it out to see how it went.
Yeah, so what it was just sort of a matter of, I know that I can probably find something in Desert that I can beat up for levels. Is that sort of where you were going with it?
I was more so going for I had the cube and I had the chime, and there was a guaranteed key item and Sky. So I was trying to go for that, and because I found like the decent grind right off the bat, like I just figured I may as well just like level up my black belt to carry through the end of the game. But I probably wasted too much time doing that.
I mean, yes and no. You took your black belt to like 30 or 31 before making your Sky play. Papa, you took your black belt to murder time levels. And then proceeded to solo like 2 dungeons with said black belt.
Yeah, I took him to 38 because I knew I was going to solo Sky.
Oh.
I actually considered soloing the rest of the game. The big Wiz Mummy and Mummy packs and Waterfall changed my mind. They were unrunnable and they were just taking too long.
That was man, that was like so horrible. Like I think I like wiped 3 times to that spike tile right before the robot.
It was 2 or 3. But yeah, so it's one of those things, Clem. Because you took the shorter grind, you had a pretty solid lead. Basically up until Papa got the floater. Because I think where he pulled ahead at that point was that knowledge of of having the loose items in hand.
Yeah.
Whereas you had to go back and retrace some of his steps. You had to go do Ice Cave. You went and checked Cardia. things like that. Where poppadux, once he had his floater, pretty much knew that he just needed to go clear out key item locations until he had everything he needed.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, is like, at various points in this seed, you both, like, y'all traded the lead several times over the course of this seed. And in the end, it kind of just came down to, like, because of Papa's early bounce from Marsh, he bumped into those loose items earlier, and that's kind of... Unfortunately, that kind of gave him the intel he needed to be able to beeline the rest of the way.
Well, hey, that's the name of the game, right?
Yeah, and the thing is you still played very intelligently without that knowledge. You played the known locations. You didn't fall into the trap of going, well, I have this Oxyale. I've had access to C this whole time. I've had theoretical access to C this whole time. I should just go do C. You recognized Volcano has the critical path. I've checked most of the other places that things can be. Let's go check the chest in Volcano, and then worry about C if it's not Volcano.
Yeah, I would much rather check for loose items in Volcano than C, just because like C tends to have like really nasty enemies I just don't really want to deal with.
I mean, to be fair, I think
I was just going to say the chests are more compressed too, and it's on two floors, and they're all together basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where C Shrine just has like, well, sorry, I've been talking a lot for the last couple of hours. But no, so it's one of those things also where just like with C, you kind of like, you have to double dip. There's no way around it, whereas Volcano, you can get everything on one pass.
Yeah.
So it in my opinion, if all things being equal, I also prefer Volcano before C. But yeah, Clem, aside from those unfortunate resets, and I'm guessing that was just kind of muscle memory betraying you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like more than a few times while practicing for the pods and for the qualifiers, I've kind of like reset the game before officially saving, and that's like really munched away at my time greatly over the past few weeks.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, if you hadn't needed to redo a couple of those fetch quests, you would have probably hit Topher about 7 or 8 minutes after poppadux did. And Papa had taken a wipe deep, which, it's entirely possible. He did lose his wipe mage to Kraken too. And if Tiamat had, in any way, shape, or form, offered resistance, it is possible for someone to wind up in a situation where they have a weakened black belt, who they can't heal up all the way, and there was still a chance. Like, I want to emphasize that for you. You were not so far out of it that there wasn't a chance if Topher had Topher Papa. Just a little bit. But that being said, y'all both routed a very nasty seed very well. Like, you ran into problems and you figured out ways around those problems. And that's something that, carries over into less evil seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's one of those things, if a seed has one bad spot and you have the experience of garbage fires and your opponent doesn't, that helps a lot. But, let's see, I think that we've now walked through everything that happened, all of the terrible, terrible things. Since you're both in here, you can look over and see what the spells you were really hoping to find were. There in the chat. But for the curious, Nuke was at level 7 and Warp was at level 8.
Ah, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the spells that we had were just like mediocre at best. Like I think I was using like Lit 3 for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did pick up Fade at level 5.
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah,
I think
but
I
I
used.
think I only had like 2 charges of it most of the seeds, so wasn't that useful.
Like I carried my white mage close to like the early to mid 20s, so I had like a couple of charges of fade, but at the end, like it probably hindered me.
Yeah, well, here's the flip side to it, though. Papa, I don't think you ever picked Quad X where Clem did. And,
I didn't, yeah.
yeah, and the T-Rex had just enough health to where, like, it took one round of attacks to make it Quad Xable, and that helped Clem get that grind started.
Yeah.
Whereas you kind of had to rely more on just, good
Turn order.
rolls for damage and
Turn order, yeah.
And kind of a question for both of you. When you were seeing how hard that T-Rex was hitting, was there any temptation to pick up your dead black belt, stick him in front, and count on the T-Rex punching him first turn?
Not for me.
No, because like knowing my luck, like I would resurrect that black belt and like he would never be hit, and then he would just like absorb all the experience that my other black belt should be getting, and I just don't want to risk that.
No.
Not only that, with no floater, I don't think it was worth the time it would have taken to do that.
I mean, y'all had Life 2 at level 4, and housing...
I guess that's true.
Yeah, and y'all had plenty of equipment to sell to get plenty of houses, so... But, I mean, either way, y'all had very little trouble getting things started, so... I guess, Clem, do you have anything else you want to add before we go ahead and send these fine folks on their way?
No, but I want to thank Papado for a really good game. Like, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to do like our thief and nothing else, or white mage and nothing else. Like that would have been fun, but it was kind of deceiving to see like
that would not have been fun with that seed.
Okay, if y'all really wanted to do it that badly, you could have just drafted and gentleman agreement to each pick a nun.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I mean, if you find someone else who's as sick in the head as y'all are when it comes to that, drafting's an option. You can always draft nuns.
Hey, that's how we met.
Agree.
That's how me and Clem met. We used to race solo white mage.
Yeah.
Did you let Will Bloodworth know you were doing that?
His thing is thief.
Okay, he'll race anything solo except fighter because he thinks that's too easy. But yeah. What about you, Pop? Anything you want to add?
No, just it was a good time racing you, Clem.
Yeah, likewise, dude.
Good luck to you the rest of the tournament. Thank you, Wout, for doing the commentary here and the tracking.
Yeah, thank you.
Doing the one-man doing the one-man show tonight.
I can't guarantee it was any good.
And thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting us.
Yeah, well,
thank you very much.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say thank you to our tracker for tonight, Wout, for mostly getting things right. He kind of missed a few button clicks at the end when y'all were kind of all over the place, and there were a few starts and stops in terms of who had what. But his notes were very excellent. I have to give him props for that. And obviously, thank you to my co-commentator, Wout, for, kind of keeping things moving back and forth. I feel like he and I, we have a pretty good rapport going, and I think that he agrees with me on that. But thanks to you two for, not giving up on this dumpster fire start 20 minutes in. I guess because you realized that if you did that, I would just roll the seed again, roll another seed that was probably just as bad.
I will tell you when I will tell you when I went through all of that nonsense to go to ice and pull out the tail. The forfeit button looked really good at that point.
I don't think there's a single person in the community that would have blamed you for that one. But yeah, and yeah, thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting us, letting us have some time on their channel, and if you really want to show Speed Gaming your appreciation, and you enjoyed this Final Fantasy Randomizer action, I believe that we have a race that is about to start in 8 minutes, if I'm not crazy. No, it started an hour ago. Never mind. But it started an hour ago, and it might still be going over on Speed Gaming Prime, Sho Fukumachi versus Budge Mono. So, go ahead and head on over there. Have yourselves a good old time. And, yeah. Thank you for joining us. If you are watching this on VOD later on, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and, you know what? Come join us over in the community. It's fun. Not all these seeds are like this.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.